I got a question for you. If you could find a city with award-winning schools and really safe neighborhoods and fantastic dining and shopping just around the corner and neighbors that act like your own personal ADT security system, well, I've got news for you. That city exists and it's Rocklin, California. Today I'm pulling up Google Maps and I'm going to walk you through it like you already live right here in Rocklin. We're talking neighborhoods, schools, shopping, hospitals, employment, outdoor lifestyle, pretty much the whole deal. And if you happen to be a first responder, a veteran, a healthcare worker, then stick around because I've got an exclusive program just for you. My Local Heroes program that can literally save you thousands of dollars when you buy or sell a home here in Rockland or the surrounding areas. So more to come on that. Stick with me. That way you can hear all the details. All right, so let's pull up Google Maps here and let's get an idea of the big picture. So Rockland is right here in Placer County, and it's home to about 72,000 people. It lies just northeast of Sacramento. So you've got Interstate 80 running right through. Highway 65 also connects you this way north towards Lincoln and then back down into Roseville. And if you've ever tried to drive to Reno or Tahoe on a Friday night, well, you may very well have sat right here on I-80 right through Rockland. Now, Rockland, it really has that mix that people love. It's family-friendly neighborhoods, as we're going to go. Just about every convenience that you could want. Over here, we've got the Costco, you've got top-rated schools right near, not far up from the Galleria. We've got over here a Target, a Trader Joe's along the way, and then of course we have Top Golf over here. And then if you go the other direction, over here near Pacific, we have Quarry Park Adventures. But here's the kicker: it still manages to feel like a really small town. You're going to run into your friends and neighbors at the grocery store. Your kids will end up on the same sports teams and go to the same schools as a lot of the people that you've come to know and live nearby. I know when my family moved here from Sacramento, we came here, for the safer neighborhoods and the schools, and Rockland has definitely delivered. And here you can see this is how Rockland lays out. Think of it, kind of like a triangle. Down here to the south along I-80, you've got the older neighborhoods like Stanford Ranch and Sunset Whitney, Clover Valley. If you swing up north along Highway 65 into the west, you're going to have these newer developments like Whitney Ranch, Whitney Oaks, and then over here off to the east, you've got the Sierra College area. And then right in the middle, you have really the heartbeat of Rockland, which is like the Quarry Park district where all the city offices are, and you have community events right here at this little hall right next to the city buildings. And lifestyle-wise, Saturday mornings at Quarry Park farmers markets are really cool. You can spend Friday nights over here at Top Golf on the other side of Rockland. And you're going to have kids' soccer games right here at Johnson Springview Park and various other parks in Rockland, like all the way over here at Kathy Lund, and even some games right here in Roseville at Central Park. And if you're into hiking, the trails wind throughout these neighborhoods, so you don't even have to go get in the car and drive somewhere. Now, let's zoom in and talk about neighborhoods, because this is really where people, they want the inside scoop. And a quick note, I'm going to give you the bird's eye view today, but I've got full vlog tours planned for these neighborhoods, walking through the parks and just kind of that we can kind of see what the houses in the neighborhoods look like. Make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so that way you don't miss those. All right, zooming in here on Stanford Ranch. Now this one is kind of a classic Rockland neighborhood. It was built out mostly in the 80s and 90s with tons of parks, and it's pretty close to the Roseville Galleria and I-80, so it's really commuter friendly. And homes here, they typically run in the 550 to 750 range. They do get above that for some really nice ones. And it's anchored by Rocklin High, which you can see right over here, which Great Schools rates it a 9 out of 10, which is extremely solid. Next, let's move over here to Whitney Ranch. So if Stanford Ranch is kind of the classic, Whitney Ranch is really the master planned newcomer. Newer homes, modern layouts, HOA amenities like pools, clubhouses, and trails. And this is where you can see tons of families riding bikes together in the evenings. Homes here, they're ranging about 700 grand and up to over 1.1 million or so. And it's got Whitney High School right here, which is rated 8 of 10 according to that greatschools.org. All right, so now let's zoom over here to Whitney Oaks. If you're a golfer or you just like the idea of sipping your morning coffee overlooking rolling fairways, well, Whitney Oaks is the spot for you. It's built around the Whitney Oaks Golf Club. It's got gated sections, HOA maintained landscaping, and homes that run, from 800 grand, up to 1.5 million or more. The counterpoint, though, the HOA rules here can feel a little strict, but that's also why it looks so pristine. Now, another great neighborhood here in Rocklin is Clover Valley. This one is kind of unique. It's tucked into like natural open space, and it's got a lot of custom homes and bigger lots. It's a little bit older. Prices can stretch from like 900 grand up into the 2 million plus range. The con? Well, I mean, maybe fewer sidewalks, which some folks don't really love, but honestly, that's part of the privacy and the character here. All right, now the next area I want to show you here is Sunset East and West. Now, these neighborhoods right here on the map, they're a little more affordable. They're entry level into Rockland, which is great because sometimes we don't want to buy a $2 million home. Homes here are 500,000 to 650, kind of somewhere in that range, and it's really close to I-80, so it's really great for commuters. Now let's move over here to the east on the map, and let's look at the Sierra College area. This is right near Sierra College, which is well-known, junior college, community college, and you've got a mix of single-family homes and student rentals. It's a little different of a vibe over here. A lot more activity and a little more turnover. But if you want proximity to the college or an investment property, it's a really great option. So let's talk a little bit about future growth. So like the northwest side of Rocklin is still really growing. There's tons of new construction. Lots of new subdivisions and new schools popping up all over. So if new construction is your thing, you're wanting to be in a brand new home, don't worry, Rocklin has not tapped out yet. All right, now let's talk schools, because schools and the school district is one of the biggest reasons that people move here to Rocklin. Again, this is why my family came here, is for better schools and safer neighborhoods. And the Rocklin Unified School District is consistently ranked amongst the best schools in California. Now let's go ahead and pull up Google Maps here again, and just kind of want to point out where these schools are. So these are just the highlights. First, right here in Stanford Ranch, we have Rocklin High School, and it is rated 9 out of 10 according to greatschools.org. All these ratings are greatschools.org. Now we move over here, and right here, this is Whitney High School, which is also an 8 out of 10. Outstanding scores. Now, middle school, let's not leave that out. We have Granite Oaks Middle School, and that is right here. Right here at the park that's right next to it. Actually, they have this really great 4th of July celebration every year. It's fantastic. You don't want to miss that. Anyways, Granite Oaks Middle School is rated 9 out of 10. And then up over here, we have Breen Elementary, and this one is rated 9 out of 10. Now come all the way over here, and we have Valley View Elementary, another elementary school that's rated 9 out of 10, of course, according to greatschools.org. Now, to put those scores in perspective, they're all, 8 to 10 across the board. And that ranks much, much higher than California's state average. And so when you see that all the way across the board, 8 to 10s, you know that Rocklin schools are truly performing. Now, the only con is that with schools this good, competition for enrollment is really high. But honestly, isn't that the problem you want as a parent? Again, that's why my family moved here from Sacramento, was for the school system. And well, I guess, another side benefit of these great schools is that, home values remain very stable and have great appreciation, even in slower times in the market. So that's really a nice side benefit of having such a great school system. All right, let's talk employment. So right here in Rocklin, we have got lots of jobs. Let's pull up Google Maps here. And, I pointed this out earlier. Right over here, we've got Sierra College, which is a huge employer. And then all the way over here on the other side, here we go. We have Oracle, which, still has a campus here. And then if you look over here, let me get over to that spot. We have Advanced Health, definitely has a presence. And of course, there is the entire Rockland Unified School District itself, which employs thousands of teachers and staff. And, we can't forget about fire and police and then all the city jobs that we have here as well. But the beauty of Rockland is that you're right next to some of the region's really biggest employment hubs. Roseville is just 5 minutes away, as you can see here on the map. And you're you're right next to the Galleria, the fountains, and then there's massive medical campuses over here, which we have Sutter and Kaiser. And then if you look, down this way, let's kind of scroll out and get over to Folsom, where we have Intel and Micron. It's about 25-minute drive, not too far. And if you're a state worker or in tech or healthcare, downtown Sacramento is about 30 to 40 minutes with a really kind of a busy commute during rush hour traffic. So not too bad when you compare that to areas like the Bay Area and Southern California, which you're looking at an hour and a half to 2 hours each way when you commute. So 30 to 40 minutes during rush hour traffic, not too bad. So with the commute, you will hit some congestion and some traffic on 65 and 80, but there is just a ton of surface streets and ways around that. So you can get to where you're going pretty much anywhere in under 40 minutes. And if you're fortunate enough to work here in Rocklin or close by in Roseville, cut that down to like maybe 5 or 10 minutes. All right, so let's talk about the fun stuff. What we do here in Rockland. And what I mean is, the shopping and where you hang out, and then the one that's most important to me, which is eating. Pulling up Google Maps here again, we've got right over here, we got Blue Oaks Town Center, which has lots of dining and little stores, and of course, I have a movie theater. And way over here, we have Rockland Commons, which has Target, and of course a Studio Movie Grill. And over here we have Rockland, Crossings, which really kind of covers the basics. And then of course we have Costco and the fountains and the Roseville Galleria, technically in Roseville, but they're practically in your backyard. All right, let's move on to dining, which again is my favorite. Kind of a local flavor here. You have Catherine's Beer Garden, kind of like a German beer hall situation. That's right there. And then over here on Pacific or Taylor, it changes back and forth from Pacific to Taylor, is Granite Rock Grill, which is amazing for breakfast. And then over here, we zoom in over here, you see Origin Coffee, kind of a boutique coffee for your morning pickup. And then, of course, there's, a couple of Dutch Bros around if you really need that. Basically, it's a milkshake with a little bit of coffee flavor in it. But if you need that sugar rush, we do have the Dutch Bros. And then way over here, we have one of my personal favorites, and that's Lucille's. It's an amazing barbecue spot. I've been known to put down the 3 barbecue meat combo on occasion. on occasion. I mean, every time I go. So make sure you check that out. And let's not forget my personal favorite. If we look over here, we have Rocklin's own The Chef's Table. If you're a foodie, this is a must try. Get the brownie. They make it with bacon fat instead of butter. It's so amazing. Of course, all the savory dishes are awesome too, but definitely get that brownie. Now, for a few examples of stuff to do entertainment wise. Okay, now we're mentioning another Roseville establishment because I mean Roseville is right in our backyard, and that's Top Golf. That's an obvious one. It's a big name, but like I said, technically in Roseville, but you can hit it with a rock from Rocklin. Pun intended, I guess, if that's a pun. Anyways, over here we have Quarry Park Adventures. I mentioned this earlier. This is an amazing obstacle course with ropes, and it's got a zip line. It's right in the middle of downtown Rocklin. It's really super unique. And then, of course, if you go back to the Studio Movie Grill over here by the Target, this gives you kind of like that dinner and a movie vibe. So it's kind of cool. Now, I want to be real with you, okay? Rocklin is not the nightlife capital of the world or even Northern California. If you're looking to go clubbing till 2 a.m. and just hang out into the wee hours of the morning, you're going to have to, make a run out to Sacramento, which is about 20, 25 minutes away. Um, you could also go to Roseville, which has some great spots to hang out in. In fact, I'm about to release a vlog tour video of Old Town Roseville, which has awesome spots to go hang out at, just like I'm talking about. But anyways, you're not going to find that stuff here in Rocklin, which is kind of the point, right? You get this really, quiet, awesome neighborhood to live in with quick access to that nightlife if you want. When it comes to healthcare, Rocklin definitely has you covered. Let's go ahead and pull up that Google map again. And let's take a look right over here. Okay. So locally, we've got Adventist Health Rocklin. And if we go, just, 5 minutes down the road or so into Roseville, again, right into Roseville, you've got these two massive medical campuses for both Kaiser Permanente and Sutter Roseville. Now, if we zoom out a little bit, all the way out here to Sacramento. And you can see we've got UC Davis Med Center. We have Sutter Sacramento. Over here we have Mercy General. And of course, for our veterans, we have right here the VA Med Center in Mather. So from Rocklin, you're like 25 to 30 minutes away from world-class healthcare. And that's worst case scenario. So if you get to live in the quiet, family-friendly, Rocklin neighborhoods, but still be close enough to have a really short commute to some of the best healthcare facilities in the state, I mean, that's a win-win. So the first negative that I would say about Rocklin, which really goes for all of Northern California, is the heat. We're talking triple digits here. In the summertime, generally, 10 to 14, 15 days of triple digits heat. But it's a dry heat. So it's not like being on the East Coast, like in Florida, let's say, where, you get out of your car and walk up to your place of employment and you've sweat through your shirt already. So it's not like that. But everyone here has amazing AC. So that's a nice place to escape. Plus, during those summer months, in Rocklin, just like most of Northern California, the outdoor lifestyle here is huge. And so we're just a hop, skip, and a jump away from Folsom Lake, just a little bit further to go to the river and enjoy some activities on the river, like just floating down the river in an inner tube or having a picnic barbecue, something like that. Plus, just across the way in Roseville, we have Sunsplash, and there's also public pools you can go to, and a lot of people have swimming pools. So if you're heat averse and you're planning on relocating here, we'll help you find a place with a swimming pool and an amazing AC. Now, another drawback to Rocklin, I guess number two, would be HOAs. So, HOAs have those really specific rules that kind of, um, interfere with certain things that you may want to do. You might want to paint your house pink, and that's not allowed. Some of them, don't let, guests park overnight, things of that nature. And there's some fees with it. But the flip side of that is it's what keeps the neighborhood looking beautiful, and keeps your neighbor from parking their car on blocks on the front lawn. So there are some plus sides to those HOAs. But again, if you're HOA averse and you don't want to be in a home with an HOA, don't worry. There's plenty of homes in Rocklin, newer and old, that don't have HOAs. And so again, we can help you dial into those types of properties to really suit your lifestyle. And that brings us to the very last negative about Rocklin. We've kind of already touched on this, and that can be the traffic. We have Highway 65 and Highway 80, which get pretty busy during rush hour. Um, you know, Not the end of the world though, because you can get anywhere. You can get to Sacramento in 45 minutes or less, even during rush hour. And if you're trying to travel to and fro, like to Lincoln or Roseville from Rockland, you just take surface streets. It's not that big of a deal. But also on the horizon, which I talk about in the Future of Roseville video, there is the Placer Parkway that is in the first phase of development, which is going to actually connect Highway 65 all the way out to Highway 99. It's going to actually alleviate a lot of that traffic because people won't be forced to just take 65 and 80. So, there is some relief on the way. Oh, I almost forgot. So I teased you earlier about my Local Heroes program. This is a program I created exclusively for veterans and teachers and first responders and healthcare workers. Really, you guys give so much to us in service, and you know we want to show you that we appreciate you. And so what we do with this program is we gift a portion of our compensation towards your closing costs. The average client receives somewhere around $1,500 to $3,000 right off the top of your closing costs, which you of course can save that money dollar for dollar in your pocket and use that towards window coverings or appliances or anything else that you see fit. So if you are a local hero and you're coming to this area, Rockland or the surrounding areas, make sure to let us know when you book your appointment. That way we can show you exactly just how much we can provide back to you as a way of saying thank you. All the contact information is in the description below. Book some time on my calendar, pick up the phone and give me a call. We would love to hear from you and help you make a smooth move here to Rockland. If you're ready to stop scrolling and start dreaming, we're ready to make it happen for you. And we'll see you on the next one. That's a wrap.